Hi, I'm Allie Meyer with the Y, and this is my Yoga Sculpt class. This class combines yoga sequences with strength inspired by Pilates and bar. Optional to have weights with you and a block. I'll give you the option to not use those as well. Starting at the top of your mat, feet about hips width apart, toes spread. Inhaling tall, arms to the ceiling. Make sure shoulders are relaxed. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Inhaling here, exhale, cactus pose, heart opens, elbows come down to the sides. Inhaling tall. And exhale, forward fold, pulling the forehead forward, bringing weight into the front of the feet. Halfway lift, fingertips sliding up the shins, looking forward on the floor. Exhale, fold. And bending knees, dropping tailbone. Let's come through chair pose to rise. Pulling in the belly button, keeping shoulders locked in, strengthening the legs. Inhale, tall. Exhale, cactus. Feel free to go at my pace, or if you're comfortable with the motions on your own, feel free to take it at your own pace. Forward fold and halfway lift. Through chair pose to rise, dropping tailbone, pulling in the belly button. One more time through, forward fold. Chair pose. Standing to rise and cactus at the top. Let's bring the fingertips to point and lean to your left, pressing in the right foot to the ground. Inhale, tall. Exhale, other side. Feel free to close your eyes or focus on a spot out in front of you. Exhaling to bend. We want a gentle bend. We don't want to let gravity take us all the way down. We're engaging the core. Inhaling tall. Exhale, cactus. Back to our fold. Halfway lift. Dropping tailbone. Through chair pose to rise, pulling in the core. Warming up the whole body here with a top half of sun salutations. Halfway lift. Through chair to rise. Cactus at the top. Pointing fingers to the ceiling. Leaning side to side, pressing your right foot into the ground as you lean to the left. Left foot into the ground as you lean to the right. Let's bring hands to heart here, and let's step back the right foot and come into crescent pose. We're gonna keep the arms up here, and we're gonna lower down that back knee, toning in the legs. The front knee can bend and straighten slightly, keeping it mostly bent. Going at your own pace here. And then when you're ready, bringing hands to heart, let's take this leg back up to center and switch. Arms rise, lower and lift. Two more. Back to center. Hands to heart. Let's take that right foot back again and come into warrior two. Getting a little bend and straighten in that front leg. And then we're gonna take the back arm down the back leg and reach to the ceiling. From here, we're gonna slide back through warrior two into extended side angle. Deep bend in the front leg. Arm or hand comes to floor and top arm reaches to the ceiling. Option here to use your block, but it's optional. You can go without it. We're gonna rotate between these two poses. Reverse warrior and extended side angle. Keeping a bend in that front knee. Feel your obliques tone as you move side to side. Your obliques are picking you up here. Feel the shoulders tone as you keep your arms lifted. Last one here. Great. And coming back to center. We'll step back with the left foot now, coming into warrior two. Reverse warrior. Warrior two. Extended side angle. Taking this at your own pace, pressing through that front foot to help you move between the poses. Last one here. Coming back to your warrior two, back to standing front, stepping your right foot back to this tall crescent. Lower and lift. See if you can get a little bit lower with that back knee this time. Ready for a balance challenge here. We're picking up that back foot, lifting it to the front. Standing one-legged mountain pose at the top of your mat. Transitioning from the crescent to the balance. 2 more. Coming back to chair pose here, dropping your right arm to a twist. And back to center. Other side. Rotate. Alternating sides, pulling in the belly button, making sure knees stay pointed forward. Good. Back to center here. Standing crescent, stepping back your left foot, lower and lift. Pulling in the belly button. Ready for a balance challenge on this side, picking up that back leg, one-legged mountain pose. Lower and lift. The goal is to get your leg in front here at about a 90-degree angle so the thigh parallel to the floor. Last one on this side. Coming back to mountain pose at the top of your mat. Cactus. Standing tall, forward fold. We're back to the top half of our sun salutations. Chair pose. Cactus. Flowing through at your pace, only doing what feels good to your body. If there's anything you desire to add in or take out, make it work for you today. Make it what your body needs. Last one, standing tall, mountain pose, warrior two. Reverse warrior. We're back to this warrior series. Extended side angle. Warrior two. Reverse warrior. Extended side angle. Last one. Back to warrior two. Now let's wheel the hands down to the floor here and pick up that back foot. Standing split. Nice. Shiva squat. Your back knee comes to the armpit of your front knee. Down and up. Down and up. Option here to use your block, but you don't necessarily need one, but it is a good tool. 4, 3, quad should be burning, 2, and 1. Plant down that back foot and come back just to a full crescent here. And then coming back to the top of your mat. Stepping back with left leg, warrior to this side. Reverse warrior. Warrior two. Extended side angle. Flowing at your pace. Notice what the core is doing. Has it let go or is it still engaged? Pulling the belly button in. Very slight tuck in the tailbone. Everything aligned. Last one to the front here. Warrior two. Wheeling down the hand. Lifting that back leg. Shiva squat from this standing split. So we want to make sure hips are even and parallel to the floor. Hips are not rotating. That back knee comes to the armpit of the front knee. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Nice. Keep going here. Option for that block. Feel the burn. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Dropping that back foot, raising up, back into crescent, and back to the top of the mat. Let's come to chair pose. And twist. Now let's bring in our chair pose, toes to touch, knees to touch, pulling in the belly button, making our base a little bit smaller here. Core is still engaged, abs are pulling in. 4, 3, 2, really controlling the motion. Don't let momentum take over. Nice, hands to heart here. All right, we're gonna step back into warrior 2, pulling in the core, giving a little bend and straight into that front leg. And from here, we're gonna rotate warrior 2, back to crescent, pulling in the core. Warrior 2, crescent. Warrior 2, crescent. All right, now's your time to grab your light weights if you have them here, because we're gonna add them in to that little sequence. Crescent pose. Elbows remain slightly bent. We're always transitioning through the shoulders, keeping really good form here. If your shoulders get tired or feel like they're gonna get injured, definitely put the weights down. Okay, crescent pose here. Warrior 2. Thumbs up with these weights, holding it like an ice cream cone. Back through the shoulders. Crescent pose. Warrior 2. You pick your pace. Holding this crescent pose here. Lower and lift. Balance challenge, taking that back foot up into one-legged mountain pose and back. Keep those elbows slightly bent so you're really engaging the muscles in your arms. You're not just locking. Exhale as you bring that knee up. 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Bring that leg back. We're coming to face the side here. Star pose. Arms are out at a slight angle, and then they come down to the heart for goddess pose. Sitting low, sitting with torso stacked over the hips, tailbone slightly tucked, belly pulling in, shoulders low. Lengthen through the spine by pulling the tailbone down and the top of the head up to the ceiling. A little movement here, side to side. Now we're gonna rotate between these two motions. So we're coming from star pose with legs straight to goddess pose, deep bend, almost like a sumo squat. I recommend light weights for your practice in this class. Right now I just have 2 pounds per hand. I recommend 2s, 3s, 4s, maybe 5s. Something light just to add some intensity. Last one. Great. Coming back to crescent pose up here and back to center. Nice. We're gonna take a few chair poses here, down and up. And when you're ready, extend those arms, pulling in the core throughout. 3, 2, maintaining a slight bend in the elbows. 1, great. We're gonna put those weights down and we're gonna come for a full sun salutations before we repeat on the other side. So inhale tall, exhale forward fold. Inhale halfway lift, exhale fold. Here's where we plant the hands and hop or step back into a plank. Elbows hug in, weights forward. Exhale chaturanga. Inhale upward dog. Exhale downward dog. Option to come through your knees on any of those if you want to keep the knees down as you transition. That's a great modification. in downward dog here. We're gonna step one foot at a time, walking back up to the top of the mat. Let's repeat that one more time without weights because we're about to add them in. Inhale, tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, hop or step back into your plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Hopping or stepping feet back up to the top of the mat. We're gonna come back through that sun salutations now with the weights. So picking up your weights here, bringing them to the heart, and then up to the ceiling, reaching tall, shoulders locked down. Pulling in the core, let's keep it engaged throughout. As you come to your forward fold, bringing the weights into the heart, pulling in the belly button. Let's add in a row here with just a slight bend in the knees. 3, 2, and 1. Dropping the weights down. Hopping or stepping back into your plank. And you actually want your weights on the outside of your hands just to prepare for this chaturanga upward dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Hop or step up to the top of the mat. Grabbing those weights here, coming through the heart back to stand. Nice, through the heart to fold. 3 rows, 3, 2, and 1. Dropping weights here to the outside, hop or step back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Let's repeat that one more time. Get some stamina here. Coming through the heart to rise. And forward fold. 3 rows, slightly bent knees, pulling in the core, protecting the back. Weights down. Plank, chaturanga. Upward dog to downward dog. Walking through the heels here. Let's take a pause in this downward dog to breathe. Try bringing the breath back to in through the nose, out through the nose. Know this is a higher intensity yoga, so definitely okay to breathe through the mouth when you're getting out of breath. But traditionally, we want that yoga ujjayi breath in through the nose, out through the nose, sound of the ocean. And let's be looking up between the hands. Exhale, hopping or stepping to the top. Okay, coming back up to stand. Last one here. All right, we're coming to the other side with the weights. We're gonna step back into warrior 2, holding like ice cream cones. A little bend and straighten in that front knee. And then coming up to crescent. Facing forward, that back heel is lifted. Again, warrior 2 to crescent. Pivoting that back foot. Coming through the shoulders on each transition. Keep a deep bend in that front knee. Hopefully you'll start to feel your shoulders really toning up here. With the repetitions, high reps, low weight. We really target muscle toning, lean muscles. Last one. Great. And then coming to star pose on this side. Arms at a slight angle and elbows slightly bent. And bringing the hands together at the heart, goddess pose. Star pose. Tailbone slightly tucked, making sure your torso is stacked over your hips as much as you can. You don't want to be leaning forward. Instead, leaning back, spreading the weight into your heels, feeling your hamstrings engage. Two more. Last one here. Great, holding this goddess pose. A little bit of movement side to side. Now we're gonna hold this deep goddess pose and we're gonna lift the heels, balance challenge. And can you drop one heel at a time? Keeping belly button pulled in, keeping spine stacked really tall. 3, 2, and 1. Great. Coming back out of that into warrior 2, and then back up to the top of the mat. Inhale, tall. Exhale, forward fold. Take your weights with you, 3 rows here. We're coming back to full sun salutations with the weights. Dropping weights down on the floor. Hopper step back. Chaturanga. Upward dog to downward dog. Now, if you're familiar with this flow, feel free to go faster or slower. You're also welcome to follow my pace up here through the heart. 3, 2, 1. Last round. Great. Hopping or stepping up to the top of the mat. Chair pose. Pull the belly button in. Drop that right arm down to twist. Let's bring toes together, knees together to touch. Shrinking down our base with our feet. Getting a little more balance here. Last one, each side. Great. Coming back to stand at the top. Remember this, we're coming back to warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Warrior 2, extended side angle. One more round. And then we're gonna come back up to the top of the mat and switch straight to the other side, warrior 2. Reverse, warrior 2 to the front. Good. Back to the front of the mat, chair pose. Drop the hand. Feel your endurance start to kick in. Getting some good cardio and toning here. Last one each side. And coming back to center. Let's stand hands to heart. Good, let's take back that right foot. Lower and lift here. One last time. We're about to take our workout down to the mat and shake it up a little bit down there. So last time on the left leg. Great. Okay, coming to the front of your mat, we're now going to transition down. Coming down to the mat, we're going to find a tabletop position here. Hands at our shoulders, knees at our hips. We're going to bring out front our right arm, left leg, pulling in the belly button here, little circles. Don't have to be perfect. Just a little motion here, giving some dynamic balance to this pose. Really pull in that core away from the floor. Try to feel the abs really working in this, as well as glutes, maybe a little bit of shoulder. 3, 2, and 1. Back to center and other side. Notice if one side feels a little more unsteady than the other. Notice any asymmetries. Little circles as best you can here. Keeping arm and leg parallel to the floor as best you can. 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Let's come to downward dog. Stretching here, pressing the mat away from you, sinking head low. And from here, we're gonna come through plank. And we're gonna chaturanga lower down to the floor, option to bring knees down. From there, we're going to do a push-up, holding in the elbows close to the body. And it does not have to be straight up. You can give a little roll to this push-up. Back into downward dog. Back into plank. Lower, push-up, downward dog. So we're doing a yoga style push-up here, hugging the elbows in, keeping hands in really tight, which targets the tricep muscles. exhaling as you rise. Great. 2 more. Again, option to keep knees down, like so, coming through tabletop each time. That's definitely an option. Great. And coming to stand on the knees here, bringing the arms up and adding a cactus. Inhale tall. We're now going to bring the fists to the low back. We want to stretch the heart forward, shoulders back, feeling a stretch from shoulder to shoulder here in the pec muscles. Option to stay here or come to camel pose where you're reaching your fingertips to the heels behind you and opening the heart here, keeping a long neck. And coming out of that, we'll come into child's pose and take a breath. Back to tabletop. Let's do a little core activation here where we're really focusing on the belly muscles. It's gonna be hard to see in the video, but relax your belly and pull it up and tight, like you're hollowing out and also squeezing those muscles in. Relax again and pull up and tight. Now you don't want this to be like a cat-cow. You don't wanna be moving your back. You just wanna target those ab muscles. And you're targeting the transverse abdominis specifically, which is the ab muscle that helps with pulling it all in, good posture, and flattening the stomach. Pull in the core. Relax, pull in. 2 more. Last one. Hold that core in tight, and we're gonna reach out the right arm again here, keeping that core hollow and tight. Little circles. Your left leg is also reaching out, trying to get those limbs parallel to the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to center, reaching out, other side. Keep that belly really engaged. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to tabletop here. Now let's add in those cat-cows. Exhale, belly drops, looking up. Inhale, arch the spine. Press through the hands, get a nice stretch in the shoulders. Exhale. Last time through. Great. Coming to stand on the knees once more. Option to stay here for a heart opener, pec stretch, or option to come to camel pose, reaching back to the heels, lengthening the neck. Breathe, don't forget to breathe. Good, and coming back to tabletop here into child's pose. Now let's really bring our knees close together for this child's pose. Lowering down, pressing the mat away. Now let's bring the fingertips over to the left side and let the hips sink down to the right. And coming back to center, other side. Feel this stretch in your hips, maybe a little bit in your shoulder as well. I feel this in my computer arm, shoulder stretching a lot more on this side than the other. For example, coming back to center. Great. And coming back into downward dog. All right, let's add in a little more toning here. We're gonna bring up the right leg. We're in 3-legged dog. We're in a strong downward dog position with the hips high and that leg to the ceiling. Now we're gonna slide through to a plank and at the same time bring that knee to nose. This is cheetah pose. Inhale, leg rises. Exhale, knee to nose. Repeating here. Always good to look in a mirror if you can and make sure that those hips are dropping into your plank as you shift into cheetah pose. Last one. Downward dog. Great, we're gonna take that same leg up to the ceiling and then we're gonna bring it through the hands and drop the back knee. So now we're in a low crescent pose, pulling in the core. Great. And from here, We can even add in cactus. Same as standing, we're just opening the heart, bringing elbows down. Be really easy and gentle on the back. Dropping down the left hand here, peel open the right hand. We're twisting towards that front knee. Now this front knee tends to come out to the side. Try to really pull it in as well as pulling in your belly to make space. And you can look up at the ceiling or at your right arm. Great. Dropping that hand back down. And now taking this foot way out to the side for lizard stretch. Hands can, or forearms can come down to the mat. Or this is another great place for your block. And here, we'll come back up to the hands and really, really gently take your hand to the inside of that front knee and really gently press and try to look behind you, keeping spine and neck long. This is a really nice deep stretch for the hips. Should feel good. If it doesn't feel good, then just stay here or here instead. Last breath here, and then coming back to center. Great. From here, we're gonna do one more pose, taking this right leg out to the side for Heaven's Gate, reaching that top arm up. So you want a straight line from your foot to your knee to your hand. You wanna be able to draw a straight line between all of them. Opening up here, option to wrap that top arm behind the back. Hips are gently pressing forward. And slowly unwinding here, coming back down around to tabletop. Let's take a few cat-cows, and then we'll come to the other side. Exhaling, belly drops. Inhale, arch. Nice. Coming back into downward dog here. We're taking cheetah on the other side. Inhaling the left leg high. We're in three-legged dog. Hips are really high here. You're pressing the mat away from you with your hands really firm. Exhale, slide the hips down into a plank position with the knee coming to nose. Inhale, tall. Exhale, lower. Tucking in the core. This is a full body engager. Exhaling as that knee comes to nose. One more here. And coming back to your downward dog. Now we're gonna take that same leg, your left leg, lifting it up to the ceiling, and then taking it through the hands and lowering the back knee for low crescent. Adding our cactus here. Inhaling tall, dropping down that right hand, feeling open the left. Great. And then from here, you're looking at the ceiling or at that top hand. You're pulling in this knee to the midline, not letting it let go. You should feel your inner thigh engage when you pull this knee into center. From here, bringing hands down and walking that foot out to the side. And you can also walk a bit forward if you notice that your foot's a little too far back. You want ankle about under the knee. And then you're bringing forearms down to a block or floor. Notice if this side feels any different than the other side. Always good to notice any asymmetries. And when you're ready, coming up to hands. If you did so on the other side, bringing this hand to the inside of the knee and really gently twisting, keeping shoulders low, neck long, spine long, looking behind you. And coming back to center. Great. Moving that block, walking the foot back in here and coming to tabletop. We're going to now take the foot out to the side and come for Heaven's Gate on this side. Straight line, foot, knee, hand, reaching up. And wrapping that top arm behind the back. Opening that top shoulder backwards, pressing the hips really slightly forwards. Everything gentle. And unwinding here. Great, back to tabletop. I'm gonna pause right here and turn back on the music. Okay, we are going to move on to some mat exercises on your back. So this is a good spot to have a block or something similar. You could get a firm pillow or a book or a combination of things, something that's about the size and shape of this. And we're going to slide that block under the hips so that your pelvis is propped up and that your hips can stay easily in the air without much effort. This is great for the legs. We're recirculating the blood down to the heart, getting some fresh blood flow into the legs once we come out of it. And from here, we're going to come to a straddle and cross, working inner thigh muscles. Option to add a double pulse on the outside, straddle with a pulse. Nice. You can experiment with pointing your toes, flexing your feet, either one. But we really want to focus on inner thigh muscles working and really controlling the exercise. Shoulders are relaxed, neck is relaxed, and the upper body is just resting at this time. Last one here. Great. And now we're going to remove that block and we're going to bring it to the hands as the feet extend out. We want the lower back reaching down to the floor throughout this whole time. And if you are having any lower back pain, I recommend bending your knees each time you release instead of straightening them. We're gonna exhale to pass that block. Inhale to lower. My head is down on the mat consistently throughout for right now. We will add it in a moment. Exhale to pass. Inhale to lower. If you need more breath than that, exhale for both the pass and the lower, just inhaling between. You really want to feel this in your abs. You may also feel a bit of inner thighs working as you squeeze that block with the feet. If your back is feeling any pain here, just tap the block on the floor with the knees bent. 3, 2, last pass, 1. Great. Okay, let's take that block back under the hips for a second round. Straddling with a pulse and cross. Three, 2, and 1. Let's pause here and let's take a big bicycle with the legs. Our goal with all of these, we're getting a lot of hip mobility. And we're also helping, like I said, recirculate the blood down from the feet. Nice. 3, 2, and 1. Great. Feet back up to the ceiling. Now we're going to take the feet apart and we're going to draw a circle or trace a circle on the ceiling with the feet, somewhat like our straddle and cross, but a lot of space between the feet throughout. Feeling this in hip flexors, inner thighs, getting a lot of range of motion in the hips here. And 3, 2, and 1. Great. Hugging knees into chest. Let's remove that block and come back for our second and last round of our pass. Exhale. Really feeling abs burn in this. Really feeling them work. Option to bend those knees and get a little less tension on the back there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Pulling the right knee into the chest and then switching sides. Good. Switching at your own pace. We're going to transition into a little cool down here with some leg stretches and spinal twist. So moving that block out to the side, moving everything out of the way. Let's bring that right leg up to the ceiling, rolling through the ankle. And hugging knee into chest. Now bring your knee out to its same side. So you're sort of in frog pose, but on your back. And then bringing that knee into heart and crossing over the body, spinal twist. Try picking up your shoulders and flattening them down to the ground. You're looking over to your right hand. Option to bring this top leg a little bit straighter, and you may feel a stretch in your hip and IT band, which can be typically pretty tight, maybe pretty intense. One more breath here. Great. And then taking that top leg back, we're going to come into a quad stretch on that side. We don't want to feel any pain in the knee here. We want it to be gentle. One more breath. Great. Coming back to center, up to the ceiling, and rolling through that ankle again. Nice. And last stretch here. Let's come for a figure 4 hip stretch. So we're pulling that right ankle in to the hips and bringing up the left thigh. Ankle rests on thigh, and we're pulling everything into the heart. And then coming back down. Let's come to the other side, hugging in that left knee. Hugging in the left knee, and then bringing that knee out to its same side. Great. Let's add in our hamstring stretch here before we go into spinal twist. Rolling through the ankle, and then hugging in, some ankle pops. Hugging in that knee and twisting over. Left arm reaches out, palm face down. Try picking up the shoulders and flattening them on the mat, looking to your left. One more breath here. And then taking that top leg back for a quad stretch. Gentle on the knee. Last breath. And coming back to center. Leg to the ceiling. Figure 4 hip stretch on this side. Left ankle on right thigh and hugging it all in. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, letting your heart rate come down. Letting all the benefits, the stretching and strengthening from today's class settle in. Noticing how the body feels after a good stretching, toning workout. Great, coming back down to center here. Let's release the feet far out towards the wall in front of you and arms back. Stretching in opposite directions. Great. And then bringing the arms palm face up here. Relaxing on the floor, letting the muscles really release totally and sinking into the ground. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, feeling the energy, feeling the refreshment go through the veins. Feel free to spend a little longer here. And then when you're ready, coming back to seated, we can get there through an egg roll, rounding the spine, hands on knees, rolling up, rounding the spine, tucking in the belly here, and coming back to seated. Hands to heart, find your center, pulling in the belly as we pull the spine really long here. Good, and then releasing everything forward, relaxing down. Abs let go, back lets go, hips let go. And walking back up to seated. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.